Good morning and happy new year. Oh my God, look at the Gladiator Guru looks so different this morning. My goodness. So what start the new year? Oh my goodness. So I get up at 7. Let me introduce myself first, and then we'll have Gladiator Guru introduce herself when she jumps on. But good morning, everyone. Viva Cafe con Leche. I am Lori Monaco Buddha. I am a teacher, speaker, coach, specializing in information and mindfulness centered workshops and coaching. I am also a chiropractor and a published author, and I am a wellness and weight loss specialist. So good morning, happy new year. And my co-host will introduce herself in a moment, but this is funny. So what a way to start the first show of the year. I couldn't sleep well last night. I set my alarm. I went back to sleep. I set my alarm for 7 a.m. or so. I thought I woke up at 7:30, and because I set my alarm for 7 p.m., but I luckily woke up at 7:30. I'm rushing to do my morning stuff. Thank goodness my daughter had a delay going in this morning, so I didn't have to worry about getting her stuff ready, or else I would have never made it. And then I just sit down at like 7:53, and I get a text from Gladiator saying that she woke up late and that she was getting ready and she just woke up. So what a morning for us. But maybe, just maybe, the reason we got up late is because we couldn't sleep, because we were just so excited about the new year and so excited to speak to everyone and start a new season of Viva Cafe con Leche, because today starts our third season. And we do start our seasons in the beginning of the year. It was just easier for us to keep track of. And Chanel, Real Deal, we've missed you, my dear. We have missed you. We've talked about you. We want to get at your pictures. You've been away in Puerto Rico. We hope you had a wonderful time with your family. And so we're so happy that you're here. And Tiffany, good morning, Tiffany. We're so happy you're here. And Jonathan is scheduled to be our guest in February. So we're going to be so happy to have him back on. We just love his insight, and we love just having him on, period. We started to do some analytics for the show, and it was interesting because we really needed to have done this like all along, but we had not done this. And we went back for the last 2 years, and it was very interesting to see the numbers on some of the shows. And some of them were hitting over 1,000 views, which was absolutely fantastic. But most of the shows though are hitting over just like between 1 and 200 views. And so one of our goals for this year is to get everything back, or to get things back up and consistently. And we cannot do that without our tribe. Our tribe is the one that's going to share and is going to post, repost, comment, watch us. You're going to subscribe. You're going to get friends to subscribe. So good morning, Erica. I always like saying it that way. Erica Bolahala. And thank you so much, Erica, for coming on last night to the workshop that I was teaching. I really appreciate having your presence there. And Kathy Ruiz, good morning. And there she is, Gladiator Guru. And we're going to have a great show today. What a way to start the year. We're going to talk about, the title of today's show is What's Your Badass Life Plan? Nothing better than to start off the new year with a bang. Although nothing better to start off the new year and getting up late, but that's us. Doesn't mean that we're late for the game. We were just late getting up. And like I said, maybe it was because our collective energy last night was just spinning so much that we couldn't rest properly. So here we are. But yes, today's conversation is going to be your badass life plan. And on Thursday, we're going to be talking about, oh my gosh, what's the name of that show? It's unauthorized living, which goes with our conversation today. So we started a new year, and most people like to set resolutions, and they like to, which is really another word for goals. But you could set goals any time of the year, so you don't have to wait till the beginning of the year. But there's something magical about the new year. And I think that's why a lot of people put so much emphasis on the new year. They feel like new year, new start, so they can have new beginnings, only to be sidelined within 6 weeks. The most common time for people to let go of what their New Year's resolutions were is to let go of to let go of them. It's 6 weeks. So second week of February, most people have stopped doing their New Year's resolutions because they don't do some of the key things that need to be done to get them to be sustained. And we're going to talk about that today with our badass life plan. And come on, Guru, you got to get on here, baby cakes. I'm running out of stuff to talk about. Good morning, Ruthie Wright. We're so glad you're here. Our beautiful niece in Florida. So today it's been in Southern Connecticut, it's been cold as hell. We finally got the winter weather. And although it's sunny today, which is really fabulous, and we've had a lot of rain, so hopefully that's going to stop. And I think we're maybe going to get some snow, maybe Friday, something like that. And Kathy, thank you for sharing. We really appreciate that. And Richardson, good morning. We're so happy that you're here. So for those of you that are just popping on, glad you're good. There she is. There she is. We're so happy that you're here. So as soon as you are ready, beautiful sunshine, go ahead and introduce yourself for those people that don't know you.
Good morning, mi gente. Buenos días. Everybody that's on. Chenille, love the PR pictures. Erica, D-Bone, my cousin Darius, Ruthie, Kathy Ruiz. I just loved when I see everybody on this morning. And yeah, you know what? There's always something. I don't think we've ever been like, oh, so frazzled to be on. I don't know. I am here in Connecticut at my sister's house, and I drove up with my niece and her husband and her son, and then my sister's family, and we've really been quarantined because we've all had COVID. Every single one of us on different days, and we're all breathing the same air, and it's been good. It just puts you in a timeout, sort of, and
Yes.
um, build the antibodies. So I guess I have no complaints, but we've all experienced different symptoms, same symptoms, almost like symptoms. You know what? It's a conversation piece at this point. Um, do the prep work, drink your teas, slather on the Vicks. You're good. Eat right, drink warm liquids, no dairy. It's all about what you're doing, as the health expert here should tell you. And I think those are the things people think they know and they don't speak much about. Hot water, teas, let fresh teas, lemon, honey, ginger, echinacea, and soups, clear soup broths. And that's what's been doing good for us. So
You can introduce yourself now that you get that whole spiel. Who are you, lady?
I am the most magical motherfucker you're gonna meet on this late Tuesday morning for myself, right? I am La Margarita. I am your writer, author, artist. I miss one thing I miss, and I'm gonna start talking about it this year, maybe doing it. It's I miss performing my poetry on stage with all the dramatics that came with it. I am your end of life doula, your wedding officiant. I am your sacred healer and your spiritual coach. And I am the Moments con Margarita, which is coming back this week. We'll talk
Yay.
about that. I have 4 weeks of different scenarios we're going to discuss and talk about and live. So, you know what? Stay tuned because this is the next 12 months of my life. And we're going to do it a little louder this year.
Yes, that's part of the badass life plan. Good morning, Melissa. Hearts Moran, we're happy that you're Hernandez. Moran, thank you for being
Hernandez,
here.
our
Yes,
100th YouTube subscriber.
our 100th YouTube subscriber. Yes, that's
Did she
fantastic. And
send
thank
us
you
the
for
address? She needs all these mugs. Okay. So yeah, this is, and you know what? I'm never late. You were all just on time.
that. No, they were early. You weren't
It's
late. You were on time.
it's like, oh, it's mind boggling. But something was bothering me all night. It's your in and out. But that's what we are. This year's going to be about that.
It's
Um,
47. Ruthie said it's 47 in Florida.
yes, I heard it was
In
cold
Tampa.
yesterday. I saw that it was kind of chilly, and 55 in Tampa is like a 25 here in Connecticut because it's a wet cold. You're like, what the heck?
Yes. Yep. So we forgot to do something at the end. We were supposed to, on Thursday's show, we were supposed to do a little a little video that phenomenal little video that Francia made for us, recapping our 2021 year. And we're going to go ahead and play it. And I'm going to darken, I'm going to take us out of the studio so that we can play this. And it's just a quick little video, but it's a nice little recap of 2020.
It really is.
Yeah. So I'm going to darken. How do we do this so that we can, let's see. Yeah, I'm just going to close our cameras out so that we can, or just go ahead and stop your cam. And then we'll, I'll put the thing on. You're only allowed to say really positive stuff to yourself.
Fulfilled February should be our goal.
Fulfilled February. First Tuesday in March.
For me, it really doesn't matter.
If you have to technically break yourself to make adjustments.
You know, men tend to be more influential and women more influenced.
Sometimes you want to talk about relationship and changes and stuff like that. All you do when you
have everything you want, you build this
hit our 56th country. So yay!
Exercising your attitude muscle. One action
but
at a time.
Life is a learning process. So even if you're a coach, let's say, you're not going to know everything.
Visualize what I have at home and I see how each piece can add.
When we are together, it looks like everything flows into place.
Yes. All right. It was a nice little montage. Where are you, Gladiator Guru? You got to put your cam back on.
I think that it was amazing. I loved the whole the concept of the 12 months, the different guests. I love all my 12 looks. It was excellent.
I know. I wish we have to have her. Good morning to my cousin Anna. Good morning, Anna. 11 degrees there. Okay, Anna, you beat us all. She's upstate New York. So, oh, goodness gracious, honey, stay warm. Yes, it's and Tiffany, thank you so much. I almost wish she had it. She did it for a minute so that we could post it, you know, like as stories and whatnot, because sometimes some of these things are less than a minute. But it would have been, I kept wanting to like watch it a little longer, like to see like what we were, the rest of the conversation was, you know. But she could easily make one like at like 15 minutes because it would just be so thrilling to watch some of these shows. But maybe we'll do one of those things and we'll just play that instead. We will just go ahead and like play, you know, we won't even talk. We'll just play this whole video for the whole entire hour. Good morning, Wanda Stover in Georgia. What's the weather down there, Wanda? How cold is it over there? Eileen, Dr. Eileen is on this morning. Happy New Year. All right. So this is great. Let's get started on this conversation. This one, we got so excited about this conversation, but let's do our intention and our mantra, right? Our new intention and mantra. 30 degrees in Georgia. That's cold for Georgia. All right. So you want to start our intention, Gladiator Guru?
Well, mine says, be grateful. Live your year in gratitude.
Right. So set the intention for the day to be grateful and intentional. That's the intention for, that's what we're going to say every single show is you're setting the intention to be intentional and go with gratitude all day, every day, 365 days of the year. And our mantra, you want to do our mantra? You want to start it? What's the first one? We are to be, we do this out loud, remember, ladies and gentlemen, I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am forgetting. I am a disruptor. I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous. Venga, mi gente.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
I am magically orgasmic.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I am beyond authentic.
Here we go. All right. So that is how we intend to start our shows every single time, because you have to be reminded that is our mission, right? Or our mission statement for the show.
Yes,
And
it is. It is a mission statement that we actually live, being magically orgasmic. Ben, my sister made sancocho the other night for anybody who knows what it is, and it came out so delicious that I was living my orgasmic sense of taste, and it was just like every spoonful. It just made me, and my niece is cracking up. So I sent some home with my daughter-in-law for my son. And yesterday he's at work and has me on FaceTime. And I said, "Did you eat the sancocho?" And he's like, "Nah, I didn't." By the time, whatever. I said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Rob, that was the best sancocho I have tasted in my adult life." I said, I had so many taste bud orgasms. It was unreal. Not realizing that his coworkers were right there. And like one of the girls, like, "Oh my God, that's your mom?" And they're cracking up. And my son is just like cheesing. He got this big smile. He goes, "I told you that's how she is." And that made me feel good. There's confirmation that I might be over the top more so than not when it comes to my kids, especially my son, but they have accepted who I am and what comes with all this package. And for this, I am grateful.
yes, and you've
Because
done
it's
your
not
job.
about who else. Not that his embarrassment, because when he was little, he would always tell me, "Don't embarrass me." It's because I am who I am, regardless who I am around. But just knowing that part, they grew into accepting me, which is key, fills me with warmth. But yeah, so I am magically orgasmic.
And that's important because they're also who they are. Your children are very much their authentic selves as well. And it's because of, what you kept pushing for and just being very steadfast about who you were. And
Mm-hmm.
as a mom, that happens a lot too. Like there's so often we try to be ourselves, and I use the word try, and then our kids will push back because we embarrass them, and sometimes we pull back, we play small because we don't want to embarrass our children.
No,
or
never
you
been
get
the case.
or you get the other parent who goes the total opposite and purposefully embarrasses them to shame them and either side's not good, because you're being an a-hole the other way, or you're playing small. You just stayed steadfast. You're like, "I'm not making any apologies for who I am, but you either like it or you don't. I'm not telling you to do either, but I'm not going to be over the top. I'm just going to be me." And then they realize that. So and then give them permission to be who they are. And we need to do a special shout. Houston's on, and Michelle, we haven't seen so long as we
Oh
know
my
you're
God, Michelle
working.
Houston,
So we're
how's
so happy that you're
Jeffrey?
here. And Liza, she's a magical warrior. Yes, Liza Tuck, thank you so much for coming
She's
on.
magically a
And
warrior.
Tiffany, you are real. You are amazing. Straight, no chaser, no sugar coating anything. I love it. Keep being you. And she even gave a little shout out there for Nina's show.
Let me tell you something. I hate closed doors, but when I don't like to go run into the bathroom, pee, and close the door. That's so claustrophobic to me. So they had to adjust and tell their friends, "If you're gonna come over, my mom doesn't close the bathroom door," because after enough arguing and them being, I'm like, "Why are you embarrassed? It's my ass. Don't be roaming around the house." So and you don't try to do things now in left field, but if it is who you are, let me tell you, I grew up where I held steadfast to what my beliefs are and to who my true spirit needed to burn brightly all the time for. And I was 27 years old. And that's when Margarita de Margarita was born. And that's how I've never been apologetic when it came to being me, unless I really like fucked up, because the filter here was still like really like what. But you grow up and you learn, but you don't lose yourself. You learn about yourself, but you don't lose yourself. And I'm not telling you learn society, learn everyone else. So when you walk in the room, you're like, "Okay, Lori's here, so let me not talk about this." And I'm not talking about that. That's not being authentic. When you got to wear many hats to please many people, you are really losing yourself. So you're not authentic. So don't come my way with that bullshit. When you are who you are, but you're careful, because sometimes our light shines so bright and we are so potent that we have to water down our doses. That's just how it is. It's like when medicine or anything else. So sometimes we can't pull our full power out there because we don't want to hurt anybody. But the thing is that there's just some people that you don't even care to shine your light on. Let them think you're in the dark. But be true to who you are. When you're going to make these choices to simmer down, back up, do it because it's something you want to do and not because you don't want anybody to be mad at you. That's the difference between being real and being fake. When you're fake to yourself, you will crumble quicker than anything else. So do something that you normally wouldn't do because you want to just not be so present, not because you're afraid somebody's not going to like you. That's my advice for the new year. Just say, fuck it, drink your coffee, and keep it going.
And that's a perfect way to segue into what's your badass life plan. Part of the reason people struggle and they don't move forward as fast as they had wanted to, or they just they get stuck, or they get into this really bad headspace. And I'm speaking from experience, right? Because either we are not clear about who we are and what we want, or we also have not written. We haven't written it down somewhere. Is that correct? Written it down. We did not write it down somewhere. Okay. And the best laid out plans of anything that's ever happened in the world were put on paper. So if you're going through your life and just sort of saying, well, this is what I want, and this is what I want, you're not really like writing it down. You're not creating like you don't have to map out a plan necessarily, but you have to have it on paper. It's just like Gladiator Guru has said in the past, if you think it, ink it. And once you believe it, you'll achieve it. Thinking it and then putting it down on paper or computer, but printing it out lets you see it and it becomes more tangible. And there is something about writing it down. Like they've done a little bit of light research on this to say that when people actually write down what it is that they want, and especially if they do it almost daily, that it gets in their head, or if they take their time and then like read it. So one of my clients who is hugely successful in what he does, he's an absolute amazing manifester. And one of the things that he does is towards the end of the year, last like couple of weeks, he does his reflection, starts from there, he creates his new board. Okay. And then he puts his vision board up at the end of the year. And then in the morning, part of his routine is he gets up, he does his stretches. And as he's doing his stretches and sort of like warming up a little bit, he looks at his vision board and he looks at every single thing on the vision board and he feels it and he says it to himself. And this is routine. And he gets everything on his vision board usually before the end of the year. He is a massive manifester. And you have to see how he upped his vision board this year. He changed it around. He did something completely different because he got everything on his vision board for 2021 by the time, I think it was by September. He had already finished his vision board and then some, like even stuff that wasn't on it. So, but what he did was he wrote it down, he put it up in front of him, and he made go through it every single day. We lose clarity when we're not reminding ourselves of who we are and what we're capable of and what our plan is. And that's why it's really important for you to take the time to write this, put this somewhere where you can see it, you can review it every single day to make sure that you're staying on track, and then check in with yourself at the end of the day or at the end of the week or at the end of the month and say, okay, I set this into motion. Where am I? So I posted yesterday that the most common New Year's resolution is to lose weight. That's what people always set in play at the beginning of the year. I'm going to lose weight. And some people do, but again, I said this earlier, by the 6th week of the year, most people have thrown their New Year's resolutions out, or they've started to cheat or whatever. Because you have to remind yourself of what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. And that's what we're going to talk about with this life plan. You're muted.
I think if I unmute myself, then you can hear the sound of my voice coming through.
That'd be better. Be helpful. Good morning, Milagros.
I think you have to try a little bit of everything, because sometimes when we're so stuck on routine, we don't realize what's not working for us anymore. We're just doing it because it's a habit. you know, it was part of our routine for years, but we're really not coming out at the end with any plus signs, right? So try everything. If you've never tried a vision board, but you have all these prejudgments about it, stop. Get a fucking vision board. Get some magazines. Go steal some at the doctor's office. They have them from like 4 years ago. You know, go and collect. Stop in doctor's office and ask a question on your way out. Grab a magazine. I don't care. And magazines are too expensive. I'm gonna go steal some too. So, and create one, and then try it out. You're gonna have so much fun just cutting out stuff and putting on your vision board that then when you put it up in a spot, and then look at it every day, and then you can see if it's for you or not. But you can't say it's not if you haven't tried it. Doesn't cost much. Get the board for $1 something at Walmart at the $1.25 store now. Isn't that funny? Where you going? The $1.25 store. But try it, because what are you losing? Some time out of your day that you would probably be picking your nose or sitting in front of the TV. Try it. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. Then you go on to the next thing that does. But if you never try it or attempt to see how it is, you're never going to know, and you're going to be wasting all this time. So me, there's something that I'm putting together. This journal that's going to be for purchase on my website. But I've been working a lot and writing a lot. And one of the things I came up with to speak on today is like the following 12 months. The Badass Buddha says that everybody's goal for the new year is what? What is it?
Knows what? What did I say?
To lose weight.
Oh, yeah. That's it's the most common. It's not everybody.
Yeah, it's the most common. And then it's not even the word healthy is never in there. You're trying to lose something. How about for the next 12 months, we work on gaining something? Okay. And if a few pounds is going to be added to the excitement, to the inner peace that you're trying to grab at, but you don't know how. Well, what about we gain something? And sometimes, you know what, you need the yin yang in order to be what's that word? Productive. So you might have to gain a little weight, just like when you're trying to lose all this stuff, you're going to lose your taste of life because you're too busy eating these blah foods or going about it the wrong way because you're in such a rush. So I said, you know what? We've all been stuck in a pandemic mode. Then you hear these news. Don't watch the news, mi gente. Don't watch it. So what I'm going to do is, for the next 12 months, I'm not even talking about a new year. It's just the next 12 months of my life. Let's do a plandemic. Let's plan to just, take off. The way Corona did and all this other bullshit. Make a plandemic for your life. What do you want to see happen? Why don't we study how the pandemic got out of control, and then base all your good fortunes on that, and then leave space for misfortunes, because without those misfortunes, we're not going to remember to come back up and do what the hell we got to do, right? So that's what you have to do. So I will speak kind and loving words to my mind, body, and spirit in these next 12 months. Because when I speak kind and loving words to all my mind, body, and spirit, guess what? My taste to want to eat what I shouldn't eat as a comfort, as a binge thing because I'm upset or I'm stressed or I feel unworthy or whatever the case may be. Guess what? When I'm busy speaking kind and loving words to my mind and my body, and I'm feeding all that to my spirit, I'm no longer hungry for the bullshit. So my body is going to feel protected because I'm feeding it love, that it's going to say, okay, let me release this weight. Because sometimes your body holds on to it, and no amount of cardio, walking, or eating certain foods is going to let go of those love handles. It's like they're right there. You see me? It's like a grasp. Let it go. I'm going to honor the path in which I walk, whether it's a dark road, unpaved, pebbles getting in my shoes, fucking up my big toe, or whether it's a paved road with the street lights all lined up like a Hallmark movie. I'm going to walk it either way. And if I walk it, I'm going to honor it because it's leading me somewhere. And sometimes to get to view the sunset, you got to park all the way in West Bumblefuck, and you got to walk through the hot pavement, and then you got the crowdedness and get to the beach and sit down and watch the sunset, right? Everything is not going to be beautiful and fun, but it's going to be worth it. And that's how you have to plan for your year. That, you know what, for every time you walk a mile, you're going to be stumbling half of it until you get there. And what are the third ones? And then you can say something, and then I'll get back to my
Okay,
list.
thank you for letting me. I appreciate
I
that.
will not doubt my anything. Okay? I will begin untangling my soul from false hopes.
I will not doubt my
When you untangle yourself from falsedades, from what you created up here that's really not functioning for you, then you're doubting everything. You have no self-trust. There's no self-love because you're too busy here, all in that dark gray matter, doubting everything, especially yourself. So let's learn to untangle ourselves from false hopes that I'm going to eat the whole cheesecake tonight, but then I'm going to start my diet tomorrow. Don't do that. It gets busier than that. So what are the false hopes? Speaking negative to yourself. So let's not do anything of that. And I'll trust the process of all assignments on my life. All assignments on life. Nothing is coincidence. Nothing happens by accident. You meet who you meet for a purpose. You do what you do. Things come to you. Things leave you. Everything is an assignment on your life. Learn to honor that, and you'll see things in a different shade. Okay.
That was beautiful. That was fabulous.
Well, I have 4 more, but go ahead.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate this.
Carry on.
Listen, everything was beautiful that Gladiator Guru said, because one thing, if you've noticed in what she was talking about too, it's applicable to everybody, but it was so especially her own words. It was her own story and what she was saying, and whatever you resonated with and can apply to you, know that she took the time and sat with this and felt it and put onto paper what was perfect for her. Right. And that's the piece. We have to sit, we have to find a nice quiet place. We have to be alone with our thoughts, and we have to give ourselves the time and the space to do this. And we have to first sit and decide, and then pen what it is that we want. And then we go from there. And I love what Milagros said. Milagros wrote, make a daily plan, weekly plan for every month. At the end, you reach your goal. I'm assuming that's what she meant. Although "rich your gold" works for me too. If that was a Freudian slip, I'm all for that one. You rich and you gold. That works for me. But you have to, though, you have to review it, because you have to create it, and then you also have to review it to make sure that you stayed on it. Because if you write out a daily plan or a weekly plan, and then like 2 months later you haven't reached any of it, you have to figure out why that is. You have to review it and look at it. So with your badass life plan, and we've said this all along, for all the time we've had our shows, there's certain things that you have to ask yourself. And so these are some of the questions to ask yourself. These are some of the things to reflect upon. So write this down if you are able to, or if you can record what we're just about to say, or rewatch this video. This is really, really important. Rewatch this video, because we're going to give you the steps to help you create this life plan. It's really important for you to listen to what Gladiator Guru said over and over, and to listen to the questions you ask yourself. Not to mention, it helps with our analytics if you rewatch. So keep rewatching and sharing. All right. So start with the what and the why. Ask yourself, what is it that I want, and why do I want it? Then go deeper. Ask yourself why and why and why. Go down like 4 whys. What is it that? Why do I want it? And why do I want it? Why do I want it? Why do I want it? The connection to it that really makes it important to you. Ask yourself who you are today. Who am I, and who do I want to be? So you want to know where you're starting from. And if you say, well, I want to start traveling the world, is the today you ready to travel the world? Because the today you is a reflection of yesterday and your past. And what do you need to change today to become that person that travels around the world? So if you're fearful about traveling the world, then you have to deal with the fear. Okay. Be clear on who you are and what your passion and your purpose is. Okay. That's why you ask yourself who you are, who you want to be. Decide what really matters to you. Okay, make a list of all the things that matter to you. It could be a benign list. Like, it doesn't have to be specific things, but it could be like the environment or, the welfare of children or something, or it could be, having money in the bank to where I don't have about things. So what matters to you, make what you want aligns with your values, because if you don't, you will not succeed, and you will not be living the life that you're meant to live, and you definitely will not be your authentic self. So review your core values. Okay. No, you are not too old to make changes or shift your path or life plan. You can change the game even in the midst of the year. So I love what Gladiator Guru said. If you notice, she didn't say for the new year, she said for the next 12 months. Why is that significant? Because the next 12 months, they could happen next month. They could happen the next month. So anywhere in the next months, but let's say you fail miserably on reaching your goals for January. You don't hold your hands up and say, well, I'll just wait till next year. You just reset it. You could restart the next 12 months, okay? Believe
Morning,
that
Janet.
Good morning, Janet. Believe that things can be reversible. All right. So if you made a faux pas, if you made a boo-boo, if you really fucked things up, do the right thing and fix them as best you can. Sometimes it's completely reversible and sometimes not. And I mean it in all aspects, even your health. If you are really unhealthy and you say, forget it, I give up, try. Okay. Just put the effort in. Just make the effort in better health. Eat better. Do what it takes. Learn. Okay. Because there are plenty of diseases out there that are reversible. Believe, have faith, have unwavering faith. Okay. And unwavering faith is where you say to yourself, I know, like I know, like I know. And one of the mantras that I used to have years ago, and one of my clients reminded me of it, and then Gladiator Guru reminded me of it, is I'm done, I'm ready, I surrender. That's the way you want to walk into this. Understand your power and potential. Be unapologetic. We said, say yes to opportunities and to the unknown and the excitement and the adventure, and say no to the bullshit and the things that don't serve you anymore and the stuff that is going to only allow you to play small. And then set badass boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
And I am done speaking. So
that is beautiful. That is beautiful. I really hope that the tribe had pen and paper out this morning. If not, just know you can go to YouTube or rewatch it here.
Yes,
because those were good. Another thing I wanted to do is to remind myself that I will live in all attempts of my life. So I will eliminate dark thoughts and prejudices. And that is an unbelievable difficult task when you're raised on survival skills, when you're raised in an environment where it's just that. So it's I'm opinionated, and sometimes that goes to the darkest side of being prejudiced and judgmental. And there is a difference of having your opinions and then being judgmental. So you have to balance out the scales, right? The other one, we can do that, because you know what we got to remind ourselves is who we are and where we are at all times in life. So what makes us think we're better than anybody or beneath anybody? Because as above, so below. And if you remember that, it's very simple of where you are in the in between. So the other one is to remind myself that I am unstoppable. I'm unstoppable until I just, pop the wheels off. But disciplined, destined, unbreakable by circumstances, I am gifted and grateful and will not settle for mediocrity, because I choose to live a life and not just exist. There's a difference. Are you living your life, or are you just existing? Are you like exuberant with your breath, or are you mediocre? You see, that's a question you can only ask yourself. And one of the last ones I wanted to talk about.
Wait a minute. Hold that thought. Gladiator Guru, you reminded me of something. I'm sorry to interrupt you. You said mediocrity, and I have this quote, and I'm sorry I didn't memorize it. It's no amount of security is worth the suffering of a mediocre life changed to a routine that has killed your dreams. And that is by Maya Mendoza.
Yes. And that's what mediocrity is. It makes
Sorry to interrupt you.
You live a routine because it's comfortable and it's safe. So when anybody makes a suggestion, you lose your temper. But you're not losing your temper because I'm not going to try nothing new. It's because you know you're not trying, that you're not living, and you get upset. So yeah, who wants, mediocrity is just sad, and get out of it. Only you can get yourself out of that. You don't even got to dig sideways and then loop up. You have the road going this way, or you can go this way and then meet it halfway and create your own art within the dirt of you digging your ass out of it.
And can I jump in for a second? You said something that's beautiful, because we get this idea that we're on a path and we just have to keep steadfast on the path, and we like, oh, you have to have it straightforward, blah, blah, blah. But what you're saying is that, our paths can do this and it can do that. And it doesn't mean that if we're doing this, that we're off our path. It just means that we're creating the path that we want. And if it takes us into different areas, I mean, think about our lives over the years. We've all been through that. We've all had very windy paths where it wasn't going in necessarily the direction that we had hoped it would, but it was the direction that needed to happen.
And that's the operative word. That's the operative word. Thank you for that. Because you know what? That's why people get stuck and give up before they reach their goal or where they're supposed to go. Because they get this vision and nobody tells them otherwise. When you're trying to dig yourself out of your darkness, this is what they see. Now, when you try to dig up, guess what happens? You dig up a little and the dirt falls back down. So it's like you're getting nowhere fast, right? And that's their only method of escaping there now is doing something that's against them. So yeah, what we're here to tell you is there's 1,000,001 ways to get you out of the dark into the light. Okay, but you got to be willing to put in the work. Yes. That's the key word. In any change that you want to make, whether it be jobs, whether it be school, whether it be starting a family, whether it be, leaving your spouse, with any change that comes with life, it's scary. There's darkness, there's doubt, but then there's that gumption to want to go towards the light. And going towards the light is not easy. And there's a lot of work that only you can put into it. So when you're looking and analyzing the next 12 months of your life, ask yourself this: what am I willing to give? What am I willing to invest in myself so that I can be the best me that I'm supposed to be? That's what you got to do. And that's really what it is. So when you say, I am unstoppable, I have to say, I am unstoppable. Because I have to remind myself that, okay? Because I'm human. I have to remind myself that I am unstoppable, that I am disciplined, because I need a lot of discipline to my life. That I was born with a destiny. And we all know that. God makes no mistakes. That I was born with a destiny. And why am I not doing what Santiago did in The Alchemist and traveling to the other side of the world to only say, oh, everything I needed was right where I was. But guess what? He's richer. He is filled with wisdom. He's met so many people along his journey just to come back. So it wasn't a waste of time. Nothing that we do is a waste of time unless we don't see the blessings in it. Yes. Open your eyes. Open your eyes and awaken your spirit and look. Because for every ugly thing out there, there's 3 that are beautiful. And my last one that is beautiful. And do your own research. And then pick the one that resonates with you. This one resonates with me. I am a child of Elohim. I have been given the next 12 months to become abundantly wealthy in health, mental health, in spiritual health, in physical health. The money will follow. I'm not seeking tangible money. I am seeking spiritual and physical wealth so that I can be able-bodied to go chase that paper. I can't do it unless I'm feeding my spirit, nurturing my ego, and allowing my body to feel love, even when it's in the shape of the guitar without the chords. You know why? Because you're going to have that fupa. You're going to have the extra love handles that you hate yourself for. Love it, embrace it, and it'll tell your body that it is okay to let go. I hold my pain in my body. So once you start eating accordingly, when you eat healthy, when you feed your body the nutrients it needs, then it'll feel loose, so it doesn't have to hold on to that fat because it doesn't know what the fuck you're doing to it. It'll let it go. So that's what. So all that, my pandemic for the next 12 months, it's the one that suits me. So if you're gonna do a vision board, make it a list today to take 30 minutes out of your day and go to the dollar store and get the whiteboard, pick up magazines, go to the Goodwill, they have them there too. Cut them out or cut your pictures out, whatever the hell you want to put on your vision board. It's your vision board, right? If that's what you want to do, if you need to be busy with that. If you're going to write what Milagros said, write it weekly, leads into months, and then it'll lead until 2023. You got to put in the work, whatever it is you decide to do. You want to be a badass, put in the work. I'm going to put in the work. I've put in the work. You know, I was angry with myself during my seasonal sadness, and I'll call the badass Buddha and said, I don't know where I'm at. I feel lost. I don't feel like I don't belong anywhere. And then I sat with myself. I've been traveling a lot. I've been actually traveling since October, going home for like 4 days, traveling for a month to California, going home for 5 days, and coming here to Connecticut. And all of those different places have taught me that I was exactly where I was supposed to be. I was nurtured into sitting down. And that is when I learned how to cry. That is where I allowed myself to cry. I allowed my ears to listen to the sound of my cry, which I hadn't done since I was 6. It allowed for me to sit down and say, you know what? I never disliked my mom like I thought I did. I really loved her. And she did teach me a lot. And it just, everything around me, it came in. And then I was reminded of the one thing I write about. I have always been brave. And I thought that by sitting still and just, and allowing myself to feel the pain and the sadness and the sorrow, that I was falling somewhere. And if anything, all it did was sharpen my edges. It filled me with the knowing that I would have not known had I not followed the voice within and just allowed myself to feel sad, allowed myself to mourn for the death of my father, my husband, and my mother. Yeah, it's a sad scenario, but it was one that had to happen. And this is where I'm at today. So follow where your spirit leads you. Feed it kindness, feed it gratitude, feed it love. It's never going to take you down a wrong path because you are a child of God. And if you listen to that, you're never going to. It's only when we ignore the inevitable, when we ignore the truth, that shit happened. Then we wonder where we're at, and we want to blame everyone around you. No more blaming this year. Not even yourself. Don't blame yourself for what you did last year. Let's just start and acknowledge that when we fall, it's okay. As long as you get back up without blaming. Don't blame. Don't judge.
What you said, first off, was just absolutely phenomenal. I mean, oh my God, today's show is really, really important. So we're going to ask, seriously, we're going to ask that you listen, that you write, take notes of what we said. It was so good that I think you and I need to listen and what we said and take notes, right? And share it with people, because this is really, really good information. Because if you had a rough year last year, okay, like the both of us did, like we were challenged, you have to really look at it and say, why was it so challenging? What made it so challenging? You know, if you did set the goal last year to lose weight, why didn't I lose the weight? Or if you set the goal to have more money or a better life or whatever, why didn't I? Where did I fall short? And if it was because you sort of felt very lost, you have to find yourself. And the only way to find yourself is to say, what didn't I do? What am I not saying? What is within me in that my spirit is not living? And you know, the thing is when Gladiator Guru said about being wealthy and bringing in the money, but you have to use your, what did you say, your spirit and your mental awareness has to be like, that has to feel wealthy. If you don't feel wealthy on the inside, the actual financial wealth is not going to come. If you don't feel healthy, the health is not going to come. If you don't feel thin and in shape, and I don't mean like you get up and you go, well, I feel awful and I can't move and I'm sore and I don't feel, but you have to feel it inside you to say, I want it so badly that I feel it within me, or I do feel how lousy I feel. And this does no longer serve me. I don't want this anymore. So you have to ask yourself those deeper questions. So what I'm going to say is, for those of you that are not driving and can do this just for like 30 seconds, close your eyes for a minute. So just close your eyes. And I want you to hear the question. And I want you to think about this question. And then at some point today, you could say it, answer it while I'm asking you. You can write it down. Okay. And this is really important to get your ass in gear, to make that badass life plan for the 12 months, not for the new year, for the next 12 months. And ask yourself this: what do I no longer want anymore in my life? What no longer serves me? What have I been tolerating that I can no longer tolerate? Because those things eat away at your spirit, and they will and then once your spirit is eaten away, it will affect your emotional well-being, it'll affect your mental well-being, then it will manifest in your physical well-being. You will gain weight, you will become poor health. It's all connected. And it starts with asking yourself those questions. What am I tolerating? What am I tolerating and I no longer wish to tolerate anymore? What is in my life that no longer serves me? And what do I no longer want anymore? So some will say, well, that's a negative take. You know, when you talk about the law of attraction, you have to say what you want. You cannot know what you want sometimes. Like I've asked clients this, I even asked my daughter this, my middle daughter, what do you want? She'll say, I don't know. I don't know. And when we're miserable, it's sometimes so much easier we're so clear on what we do not want, because that's the pain in us. That's the needle. So start with that. If you cannot figure out what your want list is, then say, what is it that I do not want anymore? What is it I do not want anymore? And what am I no longer willing to tolerate? Get that anger, because that's the push that you're going to need to make the change. When we become complacent and we get used to the misery, there's no moving. You will not move. You just sit there and you wallow in it. Okay. And what Gladiator Guru and I did, you know, we did a lot of all of those things for 2021. But the key piece was that she decided to, and I did as well, but she decided to look at all of it and review it and question it and understand that is a template, that it was a learning curve, that she had an education process for her. But for those people that choose to just wallow and not see what they're supposed to learn, will stay that and repeat year after year after year. 2021, although it had its high points for us, Gladiator Group, there were some low points that put us in such a low that we couldn't even move. And enough already. Like we look at that and say, that cannot happen again. Mm-hmm. And so to make the statement is bold, but then we have to create the plan. If that's not to happen again, what do we need to do differently that will prevent that from happening? And so that's where the plan has to come in. And these are the questions that you have to ask yourself.
And you have to be honest. Remember the thing I spoke about practically every show in 2021 is stop lying to yourself.
Yes.
And stop waiting for someone to come and save you. Stop it. It's not happening. And like I said, one of the things that I don't want to do, I said it right here, is eliminate the dark thought and the prejudices, right? So with that, I just messed up my page. And thank you for that, badass. That is a list you should make. So I'm going to give you exactly what she gave you, but in my way. So in the following 12 months, look this over. If you don't want to write it down now, I will. This is my list. You can take anything from it that you want.
Yes.
I will pray. I will pray before every decision I make. Every decision. I will learn to labor my breathing in every scenario that I am living in, because I'm known to be very rageful. So that is going to be a good technique I got to work at, is labor my breathing. Because if I labor my breathing, then it controls the cyclone of rage.
Mm-hmm.
In the following 12 months, I will tame my thoughts to live awake in my moments. No sleepwalking anymore. No half-assing it.
Yes.
To live awake in my now, and not in last night or this morning, but in my now, right now at 8:59. And sadly, not in my tomorrow. For I'm not in those places. I'm not in my last night. I'm not in this early morning where I woke up late. I'm not in my tomorrow. I'm right here.
Yes.
Fully awake, fully alive, fully filled with joy. So in the next 12 months, in every month, whether I'm gaining what society deems to be a good life or money, or if I'm losing per the bank telling me I have insufficient funds. So all of that, you see how it goes this way? I am going to live abundantly. When I wake up every morning, I'm going to honor who I am. I'm going to praise my Lord. I'm going to pray. I'm going to surrender my thought process that's not always the right one. I say that I am God's favorite comedian. Every time I'm shelling out my plans, he's sitting there saying, oh my God, I love this girl. Because he'd be cracking up at me. So that I always have to restart. You know, that's my relationship with him. So what happens? Rewatch this. Reach out to us. I'm at margaritademargarita.com. And badass, you are where? Where's your webpage?
drlorimonaco.com.
There's a spot. You fill in your email. It reaches us. We're always in the now. You know, we do this with passion in our hearts. We do this because it is our calling to get up early every Tuesday and Thursday and share with you what we are creating. And we do this with love and abundance of love for the tribe and for the women and men out there who need to be refueled a bit to start their day. That is our mission. That was the assignment that God put on our lives. Anywhere else, we charge. It is our livelihood. We were given this gift so that we can live abundantly, but we share freely every Tuesday and Thursday because it is an assignment. Okay, where people love to come on our show. I can't wait for Jonathan to come on Conversations with at the barbershop because he's phenomenal. And I mean, if you want to be on the show, go email us, because this is what it's about. It is about, you know, when you think about Jesus, you never think about him in the temple. Jesus walked in his sandals. You know, his 12 disciples followed, and wherever he sat, he spoke. He didn't need anything fancy. He didn't need nothing. People just knew he was coming and they went. So you know what? I'm not saying I'm Jesus, because God knows. God knows.
And we don't want you to be misquoted.
I'm a heathen. But what I'm saying is, when you're placed, he was given an assignment. He was the Son of God. Just follow. And what we talk and we surrender, and we love you guys, and just share the show and come on our webpage. And you know what? Let's just make the life that we were blessed to have acknowledged, accepted, and filled with self-love. Because that is when we honor the higher power, when we learn to love and trust ourselves, that we are honoring that higher power. Because of you, I exist. And because I exist, my children exist, and so on and so forth. Start honoring who you are, where you're at, and start paving your road. And Lori gave you homework and we're leaving. What was your homework again? Please repeat.
There was so much. We had all kinds of questions.
The last part.
Oh, what are you not tolerate? What are you tolerating? And that you no longer wish to tolerate. Or don't even say what you no longer wish to tolerate. Just write what you are tolerating. What is it that you are tolerating? What no longer serves anymore? What is in your life that no longer serves you? And what is it in your life that you no longer want? Okay. They might all kind of match because
No,
tolerating,
they're different though. When you start
they
writing
are,
it,
but they
you
might
real-
be the same. They might still have the same things, but you'd be surprised when you ask yourself what you're tolerating. Like, really think deep on this. It could be people, it could be situations, it could be that stupid trim. Like, I have this piece of trim over the door in my office that has never been replaced. It has all the trim everywhere except this one piece because we couldn't match it. And it's been like that for 2 years. And I've tolerated, I just like ignore it. But every time I get on the camera in my office and I see behind me that stupid piece of trim, which all of you are going to notice now because I've said it, if you hadn't noticed it before, that I'm reminded of that stupid trim. Like, I look at it and every time I'm sitting there, I say, damn that trim. Why haven't I replaced that trim yet? So what are we tolerating in our lives? And they add up.
Yeah.
All the things that you tolerate, you could just ignore. But if you ignore them, it will weigh at your spirit. It will eat away at who you are emotionally and mentally. I promise you.
Yeah.
So there we go.
And you know
All right.
what that tells you? What it reminds you to do, to honor yourself. Because we don't like everything. It's like that noise, that white noise. Like, it could be the ceiling fan. It could be the beep of the fire alarm that the battery's about to go. And it's like beep. And every stop this beep. And then it's like we don't even realize it's beeping anymore unless somebody comes in and says, what the hell is that noise? That noise is interrupting your thought process, the wavelengths. You have to get rid of it. But okay, so I hope you wrote that down and we're about to leave. And my homework for you is, this is something out of the journal that will be available soon. So here's a question. Pay attention. You ready? If you can be anything, okay? If you can be anything, what would you wear? Very important question, mi gente.
If you could be anything, what would you wear?
It's going to be in the Margarita journal coming to you very soon. But what would you wear? You know what? And I asked one of the tribe members who are here, so I shall not say her name. She cracked up so hard when I asked her that question, when I showed her what's going to be in the journal. She said after she cracked up, because it like threw her off, she said, what would I wear if I can be anything? Naked. And how amazing.
Nice.
That she even wrote me back and said that. Because I am that disruptor. I'm going to make you go, whoa, hold up. What was that? Why? Because it mixes things up. It gets you excited for a minute. Takes you out of your comfort zone, out of your normal. It takes you from digging up to saying, I'm going to create a loop and come out and dust myself off and say, whew, I'm here. That's what we're about. Kathy, thank you. And you know what? Rewatch this. Send it to people. Share it with people who need to hear some of the things we talked about today. On Thursday, please have some of your questions written down. There's still 11 of yous on.
Yes.
Please, mi gente, let's participate in our lives.
Yes.
I participate in me. I participate in the Badass Buddha. She participates in hers and in mine. And we both pour into all of you. So write down some of these questions that we were asked. And Thursday morning, we're going to see who's going to write in their comments. You can answer anyone. If you can be anything, what would you wear? What you will and will no longer tolerate going forward? It could be something simple. Something simple. What are you not going to tolerate?
Yep. And that's good because that will flow into the show on Thursday with our guest, Liza Tuck, which is unauthorized living.
Yes.
Time to just, we've said it so many times that we can't say it enough, is you living your life by your choice. You're
unauthorized living. For my Spanish people, vivir sin permiso, because half the
Nice.
time,
Without
who are we
permission.
asking permission to do anything? Nothing.
Mhm.
We're going by the boxes we created. What would society say? Fuck
Yeah.
society. This year's about you. It's about your higher power. Me is my God, Elohim, El Shaddai. Him, me, and then everybody else. Because when I'm okay, my kids are okay, my grandkids are okay. That's how we need to live this life. Not about what the badass Buddha thinks of me. We're not trying to criticize. We're trying to feed. We're putting it out there. There's the bucket with the bread. We got the baskets going. Just reach in and grab it. And that's it.
And with that, we have gone over. Thank you so much for indulging us for the 5 minutes. And we'll see you on Thursday with our guest, Liza Tuck. You know, it's always a fabulous show when Liza's on. And anyway, get to work, babies. Rewatch, answer the questions.
Share.
Take a week for you to answer these questions. You don't have to do it overnight. Answer these questions. This is for you. Okay. And yes, share. Get people to subscribe. That would help us out. Get the word going. We want to make this 12 months for us, the Viva show, the best yet. We want to see massive, massive views and stuff. So thank you so much. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And remember, mi gente, like the young Lord said, pa'lante, siempre pa'lante, forward, always forward. And with that, remember to breathe in the beauty and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste.